Hey YouTube, we are live today. It is Saturday morning, and since I can't go out anywhere because of the coronavirus, I figured this would be a good time to do a makeup tutorial. I have been planning to do a tutorial for people on how to use theatrical grease paint for cosplay, for Halloween haunters, or any other things where you want a fantasy character makeup. I've been using grease paint for about 12 years. I started back in 2008 when I attended a clown camp and learned how to do clown makeup, which is also theatrical grease paint. And since then, I've switched to using it for Halloween purposes and the last few years for cosplay. For many years, I've also done sort of my own face painting with it. I've done several hundred different designs. People who know me on Facebook have seen my 31 Faces of October, a line of faces that I've done the last 4 or 5 years, trying to put out a new face every single day for the month of October. There's animals, superheroes, monsters, skulls, just about any face I can think of, sometimes abstract, sometimes based on a character from the comics, movies, or other cartoons. And when I'm on the Facebook forums for cosplay, a lot of cosplayers, when asking about what makeup to use, if someone recommends grease paint, they like, no, I've tried that once. It was too it smeared, got over everything. It was messy. It wasn't even. I think their problem really is they don't know how to use theatrical grease paint. So in part one of this video, I'm going to introduce the products I use, the tools I use, and just give a little bit about the technique. I'm going to do a part two, which will get a little bit more into working with the makeup, the difference between working with it wet and working dry, or setting it between each color. And so let's just get started. The basic makeup that I use is a Mehron product. I use a theatrical grease paint. This is their Clown White, and this is a black grease paint. As far as application is concerned, my hands are involved all the time. I'll put the makeup on the palm of my hand. With grease paint, it needs to warm up. Sometimes the paint makeup is a little bit too stiff, a little too hard. So having it on your hand warms it up to your body temperature and can soften it. It will melt a little bit and get a little bit easier to work with. The other tools I like to use are brushes. These are, I guess these are both Mehron makeup line brushes, 314, don't know exactly what that means. I use the makeup brushes, and sometimes I use a paintbrush. Depends on sort of just what I have handy at the time. When doing makeup, a damp cloth, paper towel. I like the rags in a box. They're a little bit softer than a paper towel, a little smoother. So they're good to get the makeup off your hands or wipe your face down before you start. Q-tips come in handy. These, when you're working with the makeup and you've created, you paint a design, while it's still wet, you can wipe the makeup off and sort of clean off the edges so that when you change colors, that the two colors won't overlap, to do a cleaner edge. When it's time to set the makeup, I use Johnson's & Johnson's baby powder. I use it's the talc, not the cornstarch version. I know it's getting harder to find the talc-based baby powder because of some of the concerns over cancer. I have a very soft, this is a fur powder puff. I believe this was rabbit fur. It's got a little handle. So I I can use this for the first layer of just powdering the makeup without it having to touch my face too much. I just sort of dust the face with powder, and then I use a larger makeup powder sponge to tap it in and make sure all of the makeup is covered with the powder. Once you get it powdered, I like a brush to remove the excess powder. It's good to go somewhere that when you get powder all over the place. I do it in the bathroom, so it's easier to clean up on a tile floor. This is a brush, baby hair brush for babies. It's a very soft brush. This brush is not quite as soft. It's I got this at one of the farm supply stores. It's for horses. You could brush the face off to keep the horses clean. So it's a little bit stiffer, a little bit more bristles than the baby hair brush, but it works. Sometimes you don't always get your products at the makeup store. You get your products where they're available. When it comes time to removing the makeup, baby oil works well. I like the baby oil gel. The gel version, in my opinion, since it's the normal baby oil is like water, so it's like if you squeeze it in your hand, it gets all over the place. This is a little bit creamier. It's a little thicker, so you could pour a glob in your hand, and it's not going to be dripping through your fingers and onto the floor. It's going to stay put, so you could rub it on your face. At that point, again, your cloth, your damp towel is good, so you could wipe it all off. Soap and water afterwards. Once the makeup is set, it more or less will not react to water. But at the end of the long day, I do sometimes just jump in the shower and use soap and water and a hand cloth in the shower to get all the makeup off. But if you don't want to jump in the shower, an oil-based product is good because it will reactivate the oils in the makeup so it becomes liquid again, so you could remove it from your face. When I'm working with the makeup, I know a lot of people who just scoop their fingers into the makeup. I prefer not to put my finger in the makeup. So what I do, I use the back of the brush, and I will just scoop out a little bit of the makeup and put it on the back of my hand, and then work from this area of the makeup, so I'm not contaminating the whole container with by putting my fingers in it. So I'm trying to keep the makeup clean when I'm working with it. After I've set the makeup, sometimes I will use eyeshadows and blush, powder-based products, and this will allow me to add a little bit more color, a little bit more highlight to the makeup, so a little bit more definition. The grease paint, it is available in a variety of colors, mainly the rainbow of colors. This is yellow. You might not be able to tell, but that's red. There's not much left. That's blue. You'll have the primary rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, black, white, brown, and there's a lot of skin tone colors. But with face paints that are water-based and other products, you'll have a light blue, a sky blue, a dark blue, a royal blue, aquamarine. With the grease paints, there aren't as many colors available. It's basically blue. So if you want to get a different shade of blue, I will mix blue and white together, and this will allow me to get a lighter shade of blue. If I'm going for an orange, I can start with orange, and then if I wanted a lighter color, I can add the yellow. If I wanted a darker color, I can add the red. Alternately, I can also work with the brown or white to augment the color, mix them together. So you can create your own custom colors, but you have to know about working with pigments, of adding white and blue together to make a light blue, adding a little bit more blue to make it a little bit darker, a little bit more white to make it a little lighter. So you're having to create your own colors from the primary colors that are available. So that's a little bit about the tools that I use. I will end the video now. In the next video, I will do a little bit of a demonstration of working with the grease paint and the advantage of working with it wet and working with it after it's dry or been set. So that's end of this video of tools and theatrical grease paint overview. Thanks for watching. Bye.